Hi, my name is Avi and I'm here to talk about my teaching philosophies. I have taught enterprise business process analysis and global electronic commerce, and in next semester I'm due to teach entrepreneurial management. Now I try to bring a multidisciplinary approach to my teaching because there is more connections in this world than disconnect, and I am thoroughly against developing business fields in vacuum. Now, making class informative and intellectually stimulating and useful for my students without losing sight of the bigger picture, which is the complex realities of the business world. My objective is always to prepare them for the real world of business and entrepreneurship. And I always understand that there's a huge disconnect between what textbooks teach them and what happens in the reality. And that is one of the core objectives of my teaching. And the recruiters from the College of Business in Washington State University should not be able to complain that what we taught as to what they practice are different and they are not prepared. And so to break what happens in the reality and what we teach in the class, to merge them together, is something I always aspire to do. Now, I believe that the attainment of these goals requires essentially a learning environment that is not only positive and productive, but also one that has practical and application-based approach. I introduce, for instance, to students to a series of case studies based on which they are required to make meaningful connections between business values and technological innovations. For instance, I may ask them, why do you think that despite this novelty of an innovation, it didn't make it to the market? Or why is something that is not that novel has 97% of the market share? And these are some of the questions how we talk about, like technological innovations, how can it merge with market innovations, and how do you make value out of your innovations, and how scientists and managers can work together to create values. These are the things that I always talk about in my class. Now, I always encourage students to articulate their reactions through papers, presentations, and help them gauge the complexities of business decisions that they might have to consider when they become responsible managers of the futures. Now, I see my students as responsible future managers, and this is what I try to do. Now, I understand that no matter how much I try to teach them about the realities of business, the reality when they face is always different. So I try to simulate real world business decision making through case studies, and sometimes we do a lot of group projects where they take the seat of a CEO and try to make some decisions, complicated decisions, simulated decisions, and see how they are reacting. Also, I seek a balance between lecturing students and asking them to make presentations on topics such as any emerging technologies, such as the Web 2 or anything that they find intriguing these days. Even when I'm lecturing, I try to create an environment where students can engage with the topic at hand, not only with me but also with each other. About a third of my class grade is determined by group projects. And I tell the students that they must face the reality that they will not be asked to work with people they like. They'll have to work with people they may not like, but that's the business reality. And that's something that's really important. I have had students who were initially resistant to the idea of group projects but ended up admiring their peers as the semester drew towards an end. And that is something really rewarding to see, how students who were isolated entities became integrated with each other to work on a project that was group related, and the success, and every student working for the other person, so that they were looking not toward their own grade but toward the success of the group. And last, in order to make my teachings grounded to reality and not make the students disconnect from reality, I make a special effort to teach vague or diffuse concepts with a help of examples that I derive from current events in business, economics, or politics, so that students can see the value of practical applications of theories and concepts they learn in class. Now, oftentimes students go out of the class and they say, whatever I learned doesn't have anything to do with reality and my employers are not looking into that. I want to break that particular idea, and it is important to open series of communications between the students and the faculty and among the students to break that particular communication gap. So I am accessible in my office hours every day. Just somebody has to write an email that he has to see me, I'm in my office. So I'm having an open door policy makes it easier to attend such goals, because essentially I'm trying to teach business reality in a 16-week semester, and that's not easy. And in order to do that, breaking the communication barrier between the instructor, which is me, and the students and among the students is essential for the success of the class. And this is what I try to do in my class. Thank you.